recording. So just share my screen. So this is the model. I'm going to use it for today's interior render. So I hope everyone knows SketchUp, right? Guys, anyone from Revit batch?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I
you
am from
know,
Rabbit Bank, sir.
so you guys know how to use SketchUp, right?
No, sir.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Basics. Anyone? Okay.
No,
I
sir.
know how to.
No problem, no problem. So if you guys are from Revit also, it's fine. All the 3D models, basically we're going to create some model and we're going to take it to the Lumion. I'll tell you what all things you have to consider for other softwares. So basically this is your SketchUp model and this is the file which I sent to you. If you guys don't have installed your SketchUp in your system, that's completely fine. You can just directly download the model and you can just drop it in your Lumion and you can start working on it. Everything is set, so let's start working on it. But before that, I just want you guys to see something, consider something, and make changes something before you import to the Lumion. Those things are just the clash of your materials. So you guys can see here, I have a same material applied at this place and even at this place. So when I take this to Lumion, when I try to select this material, all the places wherever I apply the same material, it will get selected together. So if I try to select this material in the Lumion, this place also will get selected because this material and this material is same. So basically Lumion will make a group of all the same textures and it will select together in the Lumion. So what I have done is, so I have given a different textures for all the different spaces. So you guys no need to change anything in the SketchUp. You can just directly take it to the Lumion and you can apply it. But if before you take any other model of your own model or something, always check for your clash of any materials. So you guys can see I have applied this and this wall as a same material. So my Lumion going to select both the materials as a one group. So I'll just go to the Lumion. I'll just import this model and show you guys how my Lumion going to work with this 3D model. So always make sure you're under the objects and under your import. Go to your import, and if you guys are importing a new model, here is the option where you can click on this button and you can import a model. Or if you want to import the object which is already loaded in your Lumion, you can just click on it and you can place it. So here I'm going to import a new model. So click on your import new model, and this is the file which I sent to you guys. Just double click on it, and so I'm just going to give some name for it.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Okay, so if you want to import a model in your Lumion, always make sure you are under the objects. And under the object, we'll be seeing a different categories of the objects, right? Like a trees, cars, and everything. Here you'll find an option for imports. Click on it. So here to import a new model, click on this option to open your file explorer. And here just select the model which you want to import. Or if you have already imported the model to the Lumion, you will find it under the object library. So here, whatever the model which you imported to the Lumion, everything will get saved here. You don't need to import it again and again. So everything will get basically saved here. So if you want to import a new model, click on this option. Your file explorer will get open like this. Here you can just go ahead and select which model you want to import it and just double click on it and give a name for the model, the name which you want to import, by which name you want to import your model. So I'm just going to give some name like this and then add to your library. Basically it will take some 10 to 15 seconds. The time depends on your speed of your system. So I think this model, I think it took some 5 seconds to load my model, and I'm just going to place it like this. So let me just go inside and see my model. So you guys can see it here. I have done a model and I have imported to the Lumion. So
Sir,
now,
how we can keep in library?
sorry,
How
how
we
to?
can save in our library?
How to save in the library. Once you import, it will automatically save in the library. So I imported this model, right? So you guys can just go ahead and see the object will automatically will get added to your library. You don't need to save it. So automatically will get added. So if you want to say, I'm just going to delete this model, I'm just coming out. So take your trash your object and make sure you're under the imports. So this is the model is imported under the import, right? If you're in the other categories, you will not see the control point for controlling this object. You have to be on your inputs. So
Sir,
this,
by
yeah,
sir,
yeah,
by this method we can add Revit file as well.
yeah. You can add Revit file also. Just you have to just go to the import new model and
Okay,
just
we can
select
add
the,
anything.
yeah. So what all format you can export it from the Revit?
Okay.
Like I'm asking you, what all format you can export it? The 3D model file. I don't have much thing about the Revit. I don't know about much of Revit. So what is a 3D model export file for Revit? So in the SketchUp we are saving it in the SKP file, right? So what is the export
RVT.
file? Sorry,
RVT.
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 Even the 3D model file also it's gonna be in RVT, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't like save it in RVT. Go to export and try to save it in any of this format. So we have Collada file of DAE format, and
Okay.
we have OBJ format. So you can export it to OBJ or DAE file from your Revit.
Okay. Revit has the option of saving in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah, just go to file and click on the export. Under the export, you will find an option for either for DAE or OBJ format. Save it in that file option, that file format, and you can import it to the Lumion.
And regarding the thumbnails, once we import it,
Okay, I'll just check it. So you guys can export it in DAE format, Lumion
Okay.
Collada file.
Okay.
So just go to export option, and you can export it to even for DWG or DXF format.
Yeah, DWG we know that, but
You can just save it
DAE
to that.
format,
Yeah, you
okay,
can save it to
we
that
haven't
format.
tested it.
Exactly. And you can export it to Lumion in that format, or we have an option. We have to download some software that is export to Lumion. Some bridge software is there. So we have to export it in, so basically I'll just show you. So if you guys are from Revit, you can use this. There's something called Bridge 2070. Just download this software. So you can just upload your RVT file and you can convert to the Lumion format. So basically you can convert to OBG format. You can convert to DAE format in this Bridge software, and you can take it to the Lumion. So Revit to Lumion Bridge, one software is there. Just go and download it. I think it will be some 10 MB, 12 MB. So just 512 KB only. Just download it, and then you can just convert your model RVT to DAE format or anything. So basically it's a bridge software, so you can get it to the Lumion formats. Just download this and try this, and then you can take it to the Lumion. Let me know if you guys have any like problem importing the RVT file, basically the Revit file to your Lumion. Okay, so any other doubts importing your files to your Lumion? Anyone? Yeah.
Once you imported, they saved in the
Yeah,
save
yeah.
as a thumbnail, right?
Yeah. Like it's not a
It
thumbnail.
saves,
When you click on it, your
yeah.
import library will open. So basically, what all objects I imported in the Lumion, everything will get saved here. I no need to import it again and again. Just click on this object and place it. You'll have that object on your Lumion. So we need
Okay.
to. We don't need to.
If
Yeah, we don't
change
need
the
to.
source files location, will it affect the?
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Uh, if I change the source files location, will it affect this imported file?
No. It's already imported. So it
Okay.
will not, like when you re-import only, it actually matters.
Okay.
Because when you click on the re-import, it will try to re-import the file from your location. If the location is changed, then you have to hold Alt and click on this. You have to select the file where you relocated it. Getting it? Okay, so here we have an option to re-import your model, right? Next to your import new model, you can, if your file is in the same location, you can just click on it. Or if your file relocated, hold Alt and click on it. So your option will change. Hold Alt, click on it. You'll get an option to open your file explorer. Now just locate it where you relocated and just click on open. You will reload your model on your Lumion. Okay. Now I'm just deleting this model. So I don't want this. So I just want my 3D model of my bedroom space. let's go and check my interior spaces. So whenever you guys import a model, I want you guys always to go ahead and check the material clash first, and then let's start doing all other things in the lumion. So when I say material clash check, go and take your material option in your lumion and just check, just hover your cursor on all your material and check what all material is getting clashed. So this material is applied only for this, then no problem, I can just change this material of properties and everything, so nothing will get changed when I select only this material here. So this material is applied at these two places, so I will not get a clash. And for this wall I have applied this two walls, I applied the same materials. So if I try to change this wall texture or something, even this wall will get changed. That's fine, I don't want to change this materials here. So you guys can see this wall and this false ceiling roof both are in the same material. But I don't want, when I try to change this wall texture, no, like if I try to change this false ceiling texture, even the wall texture will get changed. I don't want that thing to happen. So in this case, if you want to change this texture, only this texture, I have to just go back to my 3D modeling software and I have to give the different texture for this wall here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going back to my SketchUp file, and here you guys can see here I have the same texture applied for this part and also for the false ceiling. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the texture for this wall. You can also change the texture for this wall, anything is fine. So basically you should not have a same texture for both the places. So I'm just going to select this wall and I'm going to change the any color for it. So in my lumion, I can give a different texture for this, whatever the color which I'm applying it here. It's okay. You can apply any color in the lumion. You can change the texture for this walls. So I think my walls are in the different color. And after making a change, save the file. And when I save it in the lower version. Don't save it in the higher versions in the SketchUp. If you are saving it in the 17, 18, 19 versions, you will get some error when you try to import your model in the lumion. Sometimes you can't import the model. Always try to save it in the lower versions like 13, 8, 7 or something. So I'm just going to save it in the same version and also with the same name. Don't try to change the name and don't try to change any position of your object. When I say position of your object, the complete model. Don't try to change the complete model's orientation. Don't change this model orientation from your axis. Try to keep the model in the same place. You can change the objects in your inside object in your model, but don't try to change the complete model orientation. Just keep it in the same orientation, and you can change your object, like sizes and everything. That's completely fine, but don't change your orientation of your model. Okay, so now I changed the color and everything. Now I'm just going to my file, save as, and with the lower version and with the same name, I'm just going to save it. I'm going to replace it, and coming back to the lumion under the object. So we're going to reload this model, re-import this model. So going to the objects under the imports, and here I have an option to select the object which is already loaded in the lumion. Here I have an option to import a new model. Here we have already imported the model, but we're just going to reload the model. So just click once on this. If you have the same name and if you have the same location of the file, you can just click on it. Or if you just want to re-import the model from some other location, you can just hold Alt and click on this. Hold Alt and click on this. You will get an option to re-import the model. So you can re-import from any other places. So I'm just going to re-import the model. Re-import model. Please select a model to re-import. Okay, I'm just getting some problem here. You guys will get it here. When you just click on this, you will re-import the model in the same place. I don't know. I'm not getting a re-import model here, but you guys will get it. So I have imported the same model 3-4 times. I'm not getting a proper re-import here. So you guys will get it when you re-import the model. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just delete this model and I'll try to re-import the same model again. So you guys can see it, right? I changed the model. I changed the color of the wall in the SketchUp. Now this thing got updated here. Now if I want to change, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the texture for this wall and this wall. So I'll just do this. You can apply any color for it and you can take it to the lumion. So basically in the lumion, you can change the texture for this wall. So I'm just going to save this, save as, and lower version and save it. Go to the lumion and then click on the re-import and wait for some time and the model will get re-imported in the lumion. So you guys can see it, right? I just clicked on the re-import and whatever the color I applied in the SketchUp that got re-imported in my lumion. It got updated here. Now I can just go to my material and I can select only this wall. So now I can just change only the texture for this wall here. Okay, so let's go quickly and see what all texture clash, what all the the material clash we have in the lumion. So I can just change only this color. So you guys can see it, right? So this white color is applied for this material, and even for this material in the SketchUp. So if I try to change this color, everything will get selected together and everything will get changed together. So if you want to change the material only for this part, you have to change some other color in your SketchUp and then you have to re-import it again. So this is a small thing. I don't want to change it. So let's go ahead and see quickly what all things we have to change. So this part is fine. So this metal thing is up. This material is applied for this handles also, even for this part. So anything that is fine. This light is fine. So you guys can see this, the fancy thing, the shape. This has the same texture, and also for this wall, this ceiling also it has the same texture. Anyway, that is fine. This curtain, this texture is fine. This texture is also fine. There's no clash. Okay, the sofa or in a different color, and this texture is fine. So you guys can see this roof texture and this cup and saucer texture both are same here. But if I try to change the texture for this, even this thing will get changed. So this one thing I have to change in the SketchUp. So I'm just going to remember this thing. I'm going to make a point of this, note of this. So this one I'm going to change in the SketchUp, and I think all others are fine. All other textures are different, so I can change it in the lumion separately. First thing you have to do this. After importing a model, you have to do this material check, the clash of the materials, you have to check it, and then you can start applying a texturing for different materials. Okay, I think everything is fine. Only thing I have to check is this cup and saucer and the ceiling thing both has the same texture. So I have to change this. Other things are fine. Okay, let's go to the SketchUp again, and then I'm just going to change this color of this wall. So I'm just going to give us some different color for this and then save this. It's irrespective of the 3D model. All the 3D model, the file, whatever you guys are importing to the Lumion, everything works similar. So basically you have to apply a different color for your Revit also. In the Revit, if you guys are working in the Revit, you have to apply different material, different color for it and take it to the Lumion to apply different textures. If you're working in 3ds Max also, anything is fine. You have to have something like this, like a different textures applied for different materials. I'm going to save this. Go to the lumion and then go to the objects and just click on the re-import. Okay, I think I saved it. See, I got a message saying the request of support in the import and export advice section of the lumion forum report some error I got. The reason is I saved it by mistake. I saved it in the higher version. So I'm just going to save it again. Save as, save it in the lower version and save it in the same name. So you guys can see the live example of here, the error I got because I saved it in the higher version. Now I saved it in the lower version. Click on the re-import. Now my model is getting re-imported. So you guys can see I changed the color here and got updated here. Now I can change, go to the material and I can change a different texture for this part. And I can change a different color for this part. Okay. So this is the first thing you guys have to check it before you, after you importing a model to the lumion. So first is clash of material, you have to check it. And then second thing, you can start applying a texturing for different textures. Okay, let's start adding a textures for this. So here we're going to do a night render, right? So before we do a night render, we have to go to our weather and put the sun down. Otherwise, you will not see the light effect, whichever the thing you are adding to the night render. So always just go to the weather and put the sun down. Then only you will see the effects of light which you are adding in the interior spaces. So I'm just going to put the sun down here and I'm going to start adding the lights. So go to the objects and under the lights and the special object, we have a different types of lights in the lights and utilities library. So let's start with adding a line lights. So if you guys are using a Lumion versions like 6, 7 or something, you guys will not find a area lights in it. So you guys have to update your, like upgrade your Lumion to 8 or 9 or 10 or something. Then only you'll get options for line lighting. So wherever you want to apply a cove lighting, you can apply a line light there. So here I'm just going to apply a cove lighting for this false ceiling. So I'm just going to click on the select object and go to the area light and use your line light wherever you want to apply a cove lighting. So I'm just going to take a line light and I'm going to apply it on this place. So always this cove lighting when you're applying, so basically the line light when you are applying, it's actually tricky to like rotate this line light. So you can't just take your rotate option and you can't rotate it because you have to set your orientation, you have to set your pitch and you have to set your bank. So there are three things you have to set it to get a proper lighting for this line light, for this cove light. So you have to adjust these things. So just like rotate this orientation to set it in the horizontal orientation of this light, and pitch you have to change it to change this angle of your light. So you have to set all these things, and I just want to set my light in this directionally. I think this is fine. And after setting this, now I'm just going to change my width. So you guys know when I increase the width, it's gonna extend in the both the direction, it's gonna stretch in both the direction. So first set the alignment of the light to the center and increase your width to increase your light size on both the directions. And always for your cove lighting, guys, keep this thing in the mind. Always when you're applying a cove lighting, increase your fall off, because with your cove lighting, you should not see the fall of the light, right? You don't want the light fill with your cove light. You just want to see only the light over there and little light effect for the cove light. You should not see the light effect like this for the cove lighting. So always increase the fall off. Just keep your light something like this for your cove lighting. And also you can just reduce your brightness. Don't keep too much of brightness for also your cove lighting. And also here you have an option where you can change the color of your lights. And anyway, we are doing a 3D render of our bedroom space, right? You can just keep some warm ambience for your bedroom render. If you're doing like a club interior spaces, club interior render or bar render or some studio or something, you can change a different color of lights and you can give a different ambience of the color touch for your interior render. So I'm just going to use some warm color light for my interior space for my bedroom. So brightness, I'm just going to reduce it something like this. Yeah, I think this is fine. And let's add one more light for this space. So taking a line again, I'm just going to click on this place and then time to make a rotation. So I'm just going to keep my rotation something like this, and pitch, I'm just going to rotate it to fall, to make a fall of light on my ceiling, and width, I'm going to increase it. And always reduce the fall off if it is a cove lighting, and reduce the brightness little. So basically we need to have some little light fall only. If you're doing a cove lighting, we should have only the little light fall. We don't need too much of lighting. And now I'll just increase my ambience of yellow color warm light. Okay, now we have applied everything. If you guys, like you can start applying all the side core lightings, but what I'm going to do is, before applying all the lights and all the objects to this, detailing to it, always just go to the render mode. So just click on the photo, first set the view. So I'm just going to set the view. So after coming to the render mode, first thing to consider is focal length. So always set your focal length around 22 to 30 to 35, anything is fine. So basically when you set the focal length only, you will get the realistic view of your renders. So basically the human's eye focal length is 35. So if you set it to 35, you will get an exact realistic view of the bedroom. But if you set it to 35, you can't cover more of your spaces. So always try to set at least around 22 to 30 or 35, anything is fine, but don't go less than 22 in your focal length. So first thing is to set in the viewer's focal length, and second thing, add a 2-point perspective for your render. So just go to your add effects and go to your camera and just click on the 2-point perspective and click on the 2-point perspective. So this will give you the realistic view of your render. So we just got the realistic view. We're gonna add more effects to get a realistic render. So let's add other things. Let's add these effects on a later. So let's build the model and then let's add these effects. So I'll just first I'll just store my camera and then I'll just go to my build mode. So now we have added a curve lighting for this fall ceiling, and if you want to add some lightings to this, let's add it. So I'm just going to take a line light again and I'm going to place it on this column, and I'm going to make a rotate. So this part is tricky to rotate this light to the vertical direction. If you guys want, you guys can take a note of it. So setting your heading to the 90 degrees, you will get this orientation, and set your pitch to 0 to get a vertical orientation of your light, and set your bank to 90 degrees plus 90 degrees to get a vertical direction of your light. So heading minus 90 and pitch 0 and bank 90 degree to get the vertical orientation of your light. If you guys want, you can make note of it. So minus 90 degree of orientation, pitch 0 and bank plus 90 degree. So you will get this orientation by changing the pitch. You can change the light fall towards this side and towards that side. So when you place a light towards this side, you have to set your you have to set your heading plus 90 and bank minus 90. Pitch always 0 for your vertical light. So I'll just take my move tool and I'll just get this light to the corner of my wall. So I will get this light only at the corner. So basically I'm getting a cove light, and now increase your width. And here I'm going to use the same line light and I'm going to place it here. take your line light and then place it here, and again the same settings, go to your rotate. Here I'm going to use 90-degree. So basically we need a light direction, light fall towards this side. So pitch again 0 and bank minus 90-degree. So
Sir,
guys,
I have a doubt.
yeah,
Is there any way to duplicate any of the lights, like say in the cove light when we've
you
done
can
in the
duplicate it.
ceiling?
Whatever the objects you are applying, placing, you can duplicate it. The reason is if I duplicate it now, I'll get the light fall towards this direction. You're getting it? I'll just show
Yeah,
it.
but sometimes we would have changed like the width or length or fall off or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, you can do it. So if I want to duplicate, just take your move object, hold Alt, click and drag, you'll get a duplicate of that light.
Okay, okay.
Getting it? So, but the light fall will be towards this side. So basically, you can
Yeah.
just click on it and you can just, like take your rotate. You can just do it. But anyways, just a one click is more. Just we need to
Okay,
click the
fine.
line light and we need to click on this. Anything is fine. So
Thank
basically,
you, sir.
same setting. Yeah. Okay. So we need to give the same setting for this light also. So you guys can see by using the mouse, I'm just moving it more faster. If you want to reduce the speed, hold shift and move your mouse. You'll make a slow movement of your rotation. Not only for the rotation, when you're using this bar, always hold shift and move it. You will move a slow movement for your cursor. Okay, now I got a lighting at this place and I got a lighting at this place. I think I'll just take my move and get it little up. Yeah, I think this is fine. So let's go to our render and see. So this is a view. So we have set this lighting, this lighting. So what are things we're going to do here? So here we're going to apply a cove lighting and some more texturing. Let's start to do some texturing. So go to the build mode, and to do the texturing, you can just take the sun height up. Okay, let's start add a texturing for all the objects. So let's start with this column here. So I'm just going to click on this column, and when you click on the object, when you click on the texture, you will get this material library on your lumion. So I'm just closing it. So I'm just going to the material, just click on any object. So I'm just going to click on this object. I'll get the material library. Now you can change the material for this places. So basically wherever I'm getting a selections, right, highlighted places, you can change the material for those places. So now I'm just going for the indoor. So basically we're going to do the interior renders. So you'll find many options, many different types of materials under the indoor to apply interior materials. So I'm just going to the wood, and let's see what texture suits for my interior of this column here. So I don't want too light color also. I just want little darker color, but not too darker. Let me check which texture suits for this. I think this texture. Okay. Okay. I'll just keep this texture. We can change it later if it is not going with this building. I mean with the interiors. Let's change it later. So for now, I'm just going to keep this, and then let's start adding a different texture for different materials. Okay, now I'm just going to change the material for this. I'm just going to click on this and indoor and see which thing you're going to apply it here. If I want to apply some normal plaster or normal concrete texture, you have options here. So I'm just going to apply some normal plaster only, something like this. And even for this wall, I'm going to apply the same texture. So you can see I applied this texture to this wall. And if you want to apply the same texture for this wall also, you can just go and click on this and go to the menu, and under the edit, you have an option for copy. So basically you will copy this texture and you can apply to any other places you want. So click on this, go to the menu. So you will get a material library here. Go to the menu, edit and copy. Now click on this object where you want to apply the texture, and again go to your standard and here you'll get an option for menu again. Go to the menu, edit and paste it. So you'll get the same texture copied and you'll paste it here. Just try this out. Okay. So now let's add some effect for this. So you guys can see it, right? The color of this, the wallpaper is not, like going with the interior space. So I feel the color of this texture is too, like saturated. So I'm just going to reduce the saturation for this texture. So here in the Lumion, we have an option to reduce the saturation for any textures. So I'm just going to click on this texture. So this is just the SketchUp texture, but still I can change the properties for this texture here. So just click on this. No need to apply any material here. Under the custom, you have an option for standard. Click on the standard, and you guys are not, if you guys are not seeing these options, just click on this arrow. You will see these options here. So under this, just go to the settings here, and here you have an option for saturation. Just reduce the saturation. You will not see more color for your object. Now I have added some glossiness and reflectivity also. Just reduce it. So I don't want any glossiness and reflectivity for this wallpaper texture. This is not a glass, or this is not a metal or something to add a gloss and reflectivity. So just reduce the glossiness and reflectivity. Now you can just see my texture was something like this, and I felt the color of this texture was too bright and it's dominating the place, and I don't want that thing to happen. So I'm just going to reduce the saturation. So I'll just remove the color from my texture. And also we have something called scale. You can also increase and decrease your even your SketchUp texture also in your Lumion. So basically I converted this SketchUp texture as a Lumion texture by just clicking on the texture and just go to your standard. Here you have an option where you can change all your settings for your SketchUp texture also. Now I'm just going to click on OK, and now let's add some texture for this false ceiling. So I'm just going to click on this. I feel, like I can apply the same texture for even for this false ceiling. If I apply some different texture for this, it will not gonna, like look good, because that column is going and it's gonna connect, it's connecting with this false ceiling. If I apply some different texture for this, and if I apply from different texture for this, it's not gonna look good. So I'm just going to copy the same texture and I'm going to apply it for my false ceiling also. So click on this, your material library will open here, and just click on the menu and go to your edit and copy your texture and go to the place where you want to apply it. Click on it, and if you haven't applied any material for this place, you will get a material library. If you have applied any material from the Lumion, you will not get this option. You will see whatever the material you applied. So for an instance, let me check some material which I applied. Okay, I think I have, no, I haven't applied any material here. Okay, I applied a material here. If I click on this, you will see the material which I applied at that place. So I can just go ahead and go to the menu, and I can just click on the edit. I can paste it, but I don't want to paste it here. This place I haven't applied any material to it. You will not see this kind of option. You will not see the material which you applied. You will see the material library. Here under the custom, go to your standard and go to your menu, edit, and then paste the material. So you will apply the same material to the selected place. And again we have an option to decrease your glossiness, reflectivity. Anyway, this is an interior space. You don't need to give too much of glossiness and reflectivity. And even the scale we have to increase and decrease here. So set it something, and then We don't need to change these things and all. Everything is perfect. And then say okay. So here, let's give some contrast color for this wood here. I'm just going to click on this place and going to the indoor. So in the outdoor, we have different types of textures of wood textures, and in the indoor, we have different types of wood textures. Don't go for outdoor wood textures in the indoor spaces. Just go for indoor wood textures. So I'm just going to give some contrast color wood for this place here. So let me check which texture would suit for this place. Okay, I think some plain wood texture will go for this, or even I think this wood texture will go for this. Or let me just apply this kind of texture only. I think this is fine. And say okay. Okay, here I don't want to have some white color frame for this TV. Just click on this, and guys, this is really important. I'm not going to apply any material for this. So I'm not going to apply indoor material, outdoor material, or natural material or something. I'm just going to, I just want to make this place little black. So I just want to make the same color for this. So here, when you click on this, you will get a material library, right? So here we have an option for color. So basically you can just paint that surface. Just go to this color, and here you have an option to change whatever colors you want. So you can just make, you just apply the color, and you will not apply any texture. Sorry.
Can you please repeat?
Okay, I'm just going back. So if you want to apply any color for any material, so I'm not going to apply any texture. I'm not going to apply some leaf texture. I'm not going to apply a wood texture. I just want to make I just want to make some color for my surface. If it is in this case, just click on it. You will open your material library. Under the custom, just go to your colors. So under this color, you can change any color of your material, of your object. So I'm just going to make it dark, basically the black color. Just get this completely down. You will make it completely black for your object. Or if you want to give some color for it, set this shade to white, and you can just give complete color for this. Or if you want to give a like a darker color, just reduce this, and basically you can set this colors however you want. I don't want to give any colors for this, so just set it to black and say okay. And for the TV, we can give the reflectivity, right? So just yeah,
So,
yeah,
can we give any glossiness or matte to the color?
yeah, you can give it. So basically, just click on it and go to your standard. And if you want a glossiness, you can just increase the reflectivity and gloss, so you'll have a good reflection and the glossiness for your object. And if you want to give the color for it, increase the colorization and get it darker, so you'll have a glossiness and reflectivity for this color. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So when you reduce your glossiness completely, it's going to become as a matte finish. When you increase it completely, it's going to become as a glossy feel for the texture. Now you can give any color however you want.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, it's actually good. So we can give a little glossy feel and reflectivity feel for your screen also, right? So I'm just going to click on it, go to the standard, and here I'm just going to give some reflectivity and glossiness for my TV screen. And you guys can see here, when I increase the glossiness and reflectivity, I'm seeing the reflection of my sky and reflection of my ground here. I'm not seeing the reflection of this space. I'm not getting the reflection of the wallpaper. I'm not getting the reflection of the bed. I'm not getting the reflection of the wall ceiling, but I'm getting the reflection of my sky part and the ground part in the lumion. So basically the outside my building, I'm getting the reflection. So here to correct this, guys, this is really important. Pay attention to this. If you guys giving a reflectivity for your glass or reflectivity for your metal or anything, and if you guys are seeing some reflection of your outside space, like a lumion exterior, like lumion landscape, whatever you're seeing, right? The outside space, outside of your building, if you're seeing some reflection, here we have an option to control this reflection. Just go to objects And under the lights and special object, go to your select object, go to your utilities. Here you have an option for reflection control. Just take this and place it anywhere in your model. It's nothing that you have to place it in front of your TV or in front of your, like on the top of your surface or something. You can place it anywhere on your surface. Your reflection control gonna control your reflection, and it's gonna give the reflection of only your interior spaces. So you can't, now you will not get the reflection of your the sky and the ground. So you will get the reflection of only your building interior spaces. So you can add only one reflection control in your building, in your lumion. So just one reflection control will control all the reflection in your spaces. No need to add 2 3 or something. Just one will control all your reflections in your spaces. So always remember this. If you are getting some reflection of your sky and the ground or something, you have to add your reflection control, and you will find this reflection control under the objects, lights and special object. Go to this and go to the utilities. You will find the reflection control. You can just add it at any place. So it's gonna control your reflection. Okay, let's go and add some materials to the other spaces. Okay, let's add some material for this bedspread or blanket or anything. So I'm just going to click on it, and under the indoor we have an option for fabrics. So I'm just going to click on the fabric. So here we have different textures of the fabric. Just see which fabric will look good for your blanket or for your this bedspread or anything. So I think this is a woolen kind of thing, this own suit for this. I think this will suit, but the color is not fine. Anyway, we can change the color for it. So I'll just see which texture will go for my this space. I'll just select this. I think this is nice, but if I want to change the color for this texture, if you guys feel the texture is good, the color is not fine or something, you can change the color in the lumion for that material. So just double click on the material. So you'll get these options again. Here under this, you can change the colorization, right? So I'm just going to increase the colorization and change the color whatever you want. So I'm just going to make it grayish color, and I'm just going to keep it something like this, and I'm just going to add the color fill. If you want a darker of the color or lighter of the color, you can adjust it however you want to get the colorization. And for the like for the blanket, I don't want any glossiness or reflectivity. I'm just going to reduce it something like this, and saturation, it's to reduce the color of your object. So this is fine, and say okay. So let's go ahead and add some few textures for your pillows and everything. So indoor fabric. So let me add some nice colorful pillows, something like this, or I think this color is fine. And for the bed, I'm going to add some colors like this. Let me check which color suits for this interior space. I don't want to add too colorful also. I'm just going to add something like, okay, I think this is fine. I'll just add this only, or black color. No, I'll just add this only, but changing the color for it. I'm just going to make it completely white. Not completely white, something like grayish shade. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, so let's add some different texture for my TV console. So click on it, go to the indoor. Under the wood, we have an option of different types of wood textures. So I'm just going to apply this. So you guys can see it here. I applied this texture. So I'm in this texture, and you are doing some property changes for this texture. And if you feel you are not liking this texture, and if you want to apply some different texture, just go and click on this option. So click on this thumbnail. Basically, it will take you to the material library, back to this material library. Now again, you will have an option to apply a different materials on your material library. So just pay attention to this. Now you are applying some material, and going inside you are changing some options like properties for that material. And if you want to go back and apply some different material, just click on the thumbnail here. it will take you to the material library. Now here you can apply any materials you want again. So I'm just going to set some material. I think, let me check which material will go for this TV console. For my background wall also I have to consider. So if you guys have any idea of applying a material, you can just look for that same material, you can apply it. If you don't have any idea, you have to just apply and see which material is, like gonna suit for your the space. Okay, I'll just keep this material only. I don't want to change it anything. Okay, I'll just keep this
Can we keep this white deco?
this one. This one you're saying.
No, white deco paint, like something.
White paint you're asking.
Yeah, white.
Yeah, you can do that. Just go to the color and just in the color keep it white, and then, or if you want to give some glossiness, just add a standard and add a white color to it and increase the glossiness and reflectivity, so you'll get some plastic kind of effect for it. So basically a laminate kind of effect you will get it.
And for the veneer kind of effect, what is there any particular scale like glossiness to this number and
No, no,
reflectivity to?
no,
Okay.
just increase and see like what level of glossiness you want, you can just apply it. There's no like scale and all something. So if you want to some apply some different texture for this, so if you find no, like there's no like good texture, something is it is there in the lumion, you can just Google it out and you can just get the texture also to the lumion. So I just Google some textures in the lumion, I mean from the Google. So always look for seamless image in the Google. If your image is not seamless, it's not gonna match in the lumion. So always look for some seamless image. So if you want just this image, I think this image is not a seamless. I think we can add this texture. So just save the image and save it wherever you want, and save it and go to your lumion, and then select the material, select the place where you want to apply that material, and then click on the choose color map. So if you are seeing some option like this, the material library, just go to the standard and then go to the choose color map, and then select the material which you want to apply and reduce the colorization. And here I'm just going to increase the scale for it, so you guys can see I applied the material which I downloaded from the Google, and you guys are seeing the more glossiness for this texture, right? So I'm just reducing the glossiness little and reflectivity, something like this. So getting it how to apply a texture from the Google. So basically the custom texture from the Google, so you can
Yes,
apply
sir.
something like this. And if you feel the saturation is more, you can reduce it, so you'll be seeing less color for the object. And always in the lumion, when you download the any texture and when you take it to the lumion, it always comes with the bump. So basically you guys can see it when I increase the texture, you can see some bump for this, right? The texture, you can see some, the depth of the texture. It also comes when you load any image to your lumion, it will give us, it will come with a bump. So when you have a like scale something like this, even you'll see the depth of the bumps on your texture. So that's the advantage in the lumion. You don't need to create a bump in your lumion, it will automatically load it with your lumion here. So you can also flip your bumps however you want, and if you don't want any bump, you can just remove it. So you will have a plain texture. So if you want any depth effect for your texture, keep that bump. Or if you don't want any texture, I mean the bump for your image, for your texture, just delete it. I just want the bump. So go with choose color map and select the image and reduce the colorization and increase the scale for it however you want and place it. And glossiness, I'm just going to reduce it, and reflectivity, something like this. And relief, it's going to give some rough effect for your texture. And here you have an option to change your x-axis and y-axis of your texture, and also the z-axis, however you want. And also in the orientation, you can change the rotation of your textures however you want. So I'm just going to set my orientation to the horizontal orientation or vertical, anything is fine. So these things and all you can do it for your textures you are loading from your system, from your outside of your lumion. So I'm just going to save it. I think this is fine. So what are things we're going to add it here? So if you guys want to change the texture, so if you guys, so I have already the texture here in the SketchUp, and if you guys want to change the texture of this complete thing, so I'm just going to click on it and click on the choose color map, and I have already downloaded one wallpaper for my wall here. I'm just going to use this wallpaper for this space. Click on it and say open. So here you guys know I can change the scale of the textures which I loaded, right? So I'm just going to increase the scale, and I don't want any bump for this texture. I can see some bump for this. So basically depth for this texture, right? I don't want to see anything for that. So I'm just going to remove this normal map. So basically you will see the 2D effect of your texture. So you will not get any 3D effect. So I just got the 2D textures for my wallpaper. And you can increase the glossiness little and reflectivity little. Don't keep too much of glossiness and reflectivity. And if you guys feel the saturation is more, go to the settings and increase and reduce it however you want, and then say okay. Okay. So here you guys can see this is for the night lamp. This is a metal, and I'm going to apply a metal for
So
this.
one more question.
Yeah.
Like for download the picture, we have to on our internet. Then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
again.
Once you crack your lumion and once you enter inside the lumion, you can switch on your internet.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Once you like when you're cracking it only, you have to switch off your data. I mean, switch off your
Sir, can
network.
we, sir,
Uh,
can we change the color of this wallpaper?
you can change the color of the wallpaper. Then you have to do those things in the Photoshop only. If you want to change the color of the wallpaper, you can just make a saturation changes in the lumion. But if you want to change the complete color of the wallpaper, you have to do it in the lumion only. I mean, in the sketch and the Photoshop only. This is a new laptop. This is a new system. I don't think Photoshop is installed in it. Okay. So you have to do it in the Photoshop only. By going to the hue and saturation, you will be seeing in the Photoshop how to make the color correction for your, in the for the textures and images and all. You will do it in the Photoshop, and then you can load the same image. So you'll have a different color for this, or you can just when you're looking in the like in the Google only, you can look for some different color texture and you can take it to the Lumion. So if I want to take some texture like this, and always make sure your image is a seamless image. If your image is not seamless, then you will not gonna get a proper texture applied on your Lumion. So if you want to apply some patterns like this, let me check this is a seamless image or not. Yeah, I think this is a seamless image. So how to check the seamless images? The continuation of this part should be on the right side part, and continuation of the top should be in the bottom. I think this is seamless. So I'm just going to save it, save, and go to the Lumion, click on the material and click on the choose color map, and then select that material. So now I'm going to remove the bump for it. So you'll see a normal 2D image and you can scale it however you want. So I want you guys also to try to apply some different wallpaper for it. I don't think this wallpaper is not looking good. So I'm just going to change it the same wallpaper only and remove the bump for it. I think this is fine. I'm just going to use this only. Okay, let's apply a metal texture for this. Click on this Go to your indoor. Under this metal, we have different types of metal like chrome metal, braze metal, and everything. I'm just going to apply aluminum metal. And for this, I think let's apply some plastic kind of color only for this. Or what all we have under the indoor? We have glass and leather, metal, plastic, sorry, plaster, curtains, tiles, stones, plastics we have. So we can apply some different color for this. We don't want this texture here. We can apply some glossy plastic effect for this texture. So let's see what all textures we have under the plastic. So let's have some nice bright color for this. Let's not have a dark color because already the wallpaper is little dark. If you apply a dark color here, it's not gonna go well with my design. So I'm just going to add some like a glossy kind of plastic only, and I'm just going to change the color for it. So colorization, now I can change any color I want for this. I'm just going to change it something like this, like a gray color, or I think this is fine. Okay, so guys, pay attention to this. This is really important. And now I have applied a plastic kind of material effect for this. And anyway, this is a lamp here, and there's going to be a light inside, and the light gonna glow once you switch on. And when the light is on, you will be seeing some emissive. You will be seeing some light on the surface also, on this material also, right? So here we're going to increase our. So under this, if you're not seeing these options, just click on the show extended setting. Under the settings, you will find an option for emissive. So just increase the emissive. That surface gonna have a glow. So just increase it however you want. So I'm just going to increase it little. I don't want to increase too much also. I'm just going to keep my emissive something like this. But you will not see the material which you applied, but you have some emissive for your material. Okay, let me check all the materials. Have I applied everything perfect or not? Okay, let's add some texture for my sofa here. So finish it, go to the materials, click on it. So under the indoor, we have options of leathers. So under the leathers, we have different types of leathers. Okay, I'll just change the sun angle. So you will be seeing the leather texture actually. So you guys can see the texture of the leather, right? Okay. So I can set whatever the type of textures I want for my sofa. Uh, I think this is fine, right? No, not fine. Okay, I'll just keep as a black only, or okay, I'll just keep this. Okay, now for this part, I'm going to increase a emissive. So basically, this is a light. I'm just going to click on it and go to the standard. And I don't want a glossiness and reflectivity for this surface. I'm just going to reduce it. And under the emissive, I'm just going to increase the emissive. And here you can change the color of your lights however you want. So I'm just going to change it something like this and finish it. Okay, so let's go to our photo, and we have already set the view something like this. And here what I'm going to do is, so let's go to the build and reduce the weather here. So I'm just going to put the sun down and go to the photo, and this is the settings we have given here. So basically we applied the textures and everything, and we applied a light and something. So here we have some spotlights. So let's add some spotlights for this view. So basically we're going to work only inside this view. So it's waste of working on this part or working on the other part in the opposite direction. So let's work only, concentrate only on this view, and we can add more details for only for this view. So going to my build mode, let's add some spotlights to it. So basically you call it as IES lights, right? So I'm just going to objects and lights and the special object and taking my spotlights. I think for spotlights you can use this lights. So anyway we have already like lights source here. Click, click. So we have a spotlights on our this part. And let's go to our render mode and see how the render looks. I mean the view looks. I think this part everything is lighten up, and I feel this part is darker here in my render. So I don't want that thing to happen. So here I'm just seeing the darker part and I'm seeing this part as a brighter. So I don't know that thing to happen. I just want this place also to little brighter. So in the render, always when you guys are doing a night render, always make sure your all the parts in your renders are everything is brighter. So don't make it some part darker and some part brighter. So always try to make sure all the parts of your render is looking brighter in your spaces. So I'm just going to set something like this to show all my false ceiling and everything. I'm just going to set my view like this, and then going to my build mode. And here I'm not going to add any spotlights, but I just want to make this entire place little brighter with my lights. So here in this case I'm just going to add a omni light. So under the omni light, take your light fill and place it wherever you find a darker places on your space. And I'm just going to give a like a warm color ambience for my space and reduce the brightness, and go to your photo and see how your space looks. Now you can see this place is little brighter and even this place a little darker here. So again going to the build mode and take my one more like light fill and place it in one in this space. And I don't want too much brightness for this. I just want to see little light at that place with little warm color light, and come to your render mode and just see this place is brighter now for now. Okay, now this is great. So let's see what all extra details we can add for this. Lighting and everything is done now, and we're going to add more like objects and everything like a detailed part for this places for this scene. So going to the build mode, going to the objects, going to the indoor. Let's see what all things you can add it under the indoor. So let's add some decoration items. So we have so many objects like this. So if I just want to like get this toy, and you can place it on your bed. And so by adding more details, your render gonna look really good. So try to add more objects for your scenes. So I just add one handbag at this place. So try to add more objects. So I'll just get one laptop and place it here, and I'll just take my rotate, and then I'm just going to rotate it something like this. And let's add few more elements also, like food drink. I don't want any food drink. It's a bedroom. So seating, okay, you can add one like sofa. I can add one seating, single seating here. I'm going to put it and rotate it something like this. Storage, do we need storage in the bedroom? Already we have some storage. Okay, I don't want this. Lights, kitchen, electronics, decorations. We have some different posters. Okay, let's add some poster to our okay, let's add this. Okay, I'm just going to place it here. I think this is aligned to the center, and I'm going to little scale this object little bigger. And you guys can see I have applied some like object on this wall here, but there's no lighting for this wall. I mean for this object. So what I'm going to do is take your object, go to your light settings, light category, take one spotlight, and I'm going to use one spotlight to highlight that object on my wall. So I'm just going to take one spotlight, something like I think this is fine, and place it, put it on your ceiling, and take your target light and then give it for your object which you placed, and say okay, now I'm going to reduce the phone angle. So I just want the light only for this space, and I'm going to reduce the brightness also little, something like this. Let's go and check our view. So we have added a light for this. We added one object here, an object here, and let's add few more objects at this place. This place looks empty, so don't try to leave your spaces empty. Try to add some objects there and fill it at that place. So your render should look complete by adding all these objects. So we have some different clothes and something. You can just put some clothes on your bed or something to look realistic feel. You can add those things and all.
Sir, I have a
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Can we, like, how in SketchUp we have a 3D warehouse and we
Yeah,
download
yeah,
objects?
yeah, yeah, you can
Can
do
we
it.
do something?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. So you can just go to a 3D warehouse and download whatever objects you want, and you can take it to your Lumion. So I can just place one
So we
sheet. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to the 3D model, 3D warehouse. You guys tell me what object we can add it to the bedroom. You guys tell me. Okay, let's add some planter box.
we can probably add the concrete planter box as a
Yeah, that is good,
side
right?
table.
Yeah. Even I thought to do that. You can add that thing actually. Okay, I'll just download this. Okay, this is 36 MB. The file is very big. Anyway,
Can we add photo frames and add photos too?
yeah, you can add anything. You can download any objects and you can add it to your Lumion.
I mean, actual images like inside the photo instead of.
Yeah, you can do it. So yeah, you can do it. So basically, if you have any frames, so if you want, you can just set it in the SketchUp only, and you can get it to the Lumion. Or like if you want a frames or something, you have to set it in the Lumion in your SketchUp only. So basically,
Okay.
you need to create a frame or something like this.
No, there are ready-made frames in Lumion items itself.
Like in a 3D warehouse, you're asking.
No. In Lumion itself, there are some.
Those things are you can add it in the Lumion. Like all the objects in the Lumion, you can add it.
Can we customize the image in those frames?
Yeah. So like all the like different types of frames are there. Like
Yeah.
whatever you want, you can add it to the Lumion. However you want, you can add it. So basically, if you want to add this, like poster, just click on it. So I have added a poster here. So you can size this object wherever you want. You can change the height for it, and you can also change the rotation for this however you want. So you can do all these things in the Lumion. So if you want to get some different object from not from your Lumion, from your 3D warehouse also, you can do it. So I have opened this concrete planter box here and save it in the lower version. And coming to the Lumion, import object, go to your imports and click on import new object and go to the desktop I saved, click on it and import, add to library.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, when importing new stuff, it comes like import edges and import vertices like that. I mean,
Okay.
what's that?
Import with the animations you are asking.
Not also import with animations. When importing in Rivet file,
Okay.
it shows import with edges and right.
I don't know. I need to check that. Like I don't know
Okay,
where you're asking. I'll just see that. Okay.
okay. So I will send you a screenshot.
Yeah, I just send the screenshot of it. Okay.
Okay.
So we have placed an object something like this, but I want to reduce the size of my object. So what I'm going to do is, so just reduce the size of the object. So before that, I'll just get this object to the move object and get this object here. So you guys can see the control point is here. The reason is in the SketchUp, the axis is this place and the object is placed in this place. That's why I'm not getting a proper control point near to this object. So anyway, I'm just going to size it. So where to place this thing? I just place it here. Guys, any suggestions where to place this?
So near the TV.
Near the TV, it's
I
okay.
mean, actually, this kind of for near setting up in the window.
Near the window. Okay, here.
Yeah.
I can do it. Okay, I'm just placing it something like this. You guys can just go ahead and see. You can just play with this. Where all you can place it. You can download some different items. You can just place it wherever you want. It's fine, up to you guys. This is okay. So I have everything is done here. Let me check what all things I can add it more to this place. I have added many objects here. Lightings I have done, and I think I don't know why the light is too brighter. I just reduce the light here. So go to the light, and I think my this line light is too brighter here. I just reduce the. I think I have added two lights to the line light. What is some extra light I'm getting on the surface? Okay, so this light is too brighter. So I'm just going to select it and then reduce the brightness. Okay, so I'll just quickly add the guys. I'll just time's up. I'll just add some lights a little faster. So here one, and here one. I think these lights are fine. And one more light and target it for my poster here and say okay and reduce the cone angle and reduce the brightness for it. Just to highlight this one poster, I have done this. And okay, forgot to add a. Guys, stay for like 5 more minutes. We can finish up this. So area light and adding one light here and go to the rotation and then 90° and 0 pitch and then So every time I need to set this all the pictures and everything. I think pitch is fine. And increase the width of your light. I think my width of the light is too much. I'll just reduce it little and get this light to the center. Take a move and then place it in the center and then increase it little to fill the light and increase the fall off. Guys, meanwhile you guys can try it. So I'll just set this light. Yeah, I think this is fine. So brightness, I just reduce it little and fall off and the little warm color touch for this. Okay, so I think the curve light, everything is done. So we have done a cove lighting and the spotlight here and also one cove light at these places and fill light at this place and one more fill light at here. And then we have done some objects here. Let's capture this view and let's start adding effects for this. So this is a normal render. So this is a normal effects which I haven't added any effects for this. This is a normal view here. So I'm just going to store this camera and create a new camera for this, and I'm going to store one more camera here, and let's add some presets for this view here. Just go to your custom style. We have an interior preset. Let's start adding this interior preset and see how our effects is looking for our view here. So I just added an interior preset. I haven't added any effects. It automatically gave some effects of the presets, something like this. So I don't need to add any effects. It only comes with all the effects, whatever the for the interiors, whatever the effects should be added, everything it will add. It will come with this preset. You don't need to go ahead and add anything. So if you feel you have to make any corrections for this, you can just make a correction for this. Always add a 2-point perspective for your renders. So it's going to look straight everything. Okay. So I'm just going to set this and this. I'm just going to go a little back and then set this and come back to this. So we have a interior, like all the, presets, something like this. So here I feel, the color, the temperature is too much. So if you want to reduce the temperature, go under the color correction. So reduce the temperature little, and I feel the brightness is also too much. I'm just going to reduce the brightness little, and I think tint, we can increase it little to give some nice ambience for the bedroom. And let's go back. So what all things we have? Exposure, definitely we can increase and decrease. However, the lightings, the brightness you want for your interior, you can do it under the exposure. And in the second page we have chromatic aberration, depth of the field. Okay, let's see this depth of the field in the second render. So here I'm going to add a analog color lab. So in all my renders, I try to add analog color lab. This is gonna give some like beautiful effect for our renders. So I'm just going to reduce the amount of analog color lab. So and I'm going to set this view something like this and take a shot. And also I'm just going to take a sun and I'm going to reduce the height of the sun completely. If you have some height in your sun, you'll not get a proper effect. So don't have a sun, just try to delete it. So add effect, we can add for the night render, we can add you can probably add a color corrections and an analog color lab. Sharpen, no need of sharpen. Image overlay, board rays and material highlights. Okay, so these things all you can add it for your interior effects. So this is a normal image. So basically this is the normal set of the image, the view of the image, and this is after your effects of all your interiors effects. So now I'm just going to take one. I'm going to store this camera and I'm going to set some more views. Click on it and I'm going to set some view from here, one more view, and go to this, set the view, and you guys know how to copy the effect of same effects and you can apply it here. So just go here, go to menu and go to edit and copy the effects, come to this view. So basically you have to set the view first. I'm just going to set it something like this. And then go to again menu and edit and paste the effects. And I'm going to store the camera. And one more view, I'm going to take it from this angle. So basically to see the complete my like the wallpaper and the everything, I'm just going to set it something like this. So guys, pay attention to this. For this, I'm going to add a depth of field. For in these two renders, I switched off the depth of the field, right? Now I'm going to switch on the depth of field and I'm going to show it how it's gonna works. So basically by depth of the field, we can highlight some part and show. So basically if we want to highlight only this part in your render, so I'm going to add a depth of the field. So I'm going to store this camera and go to this and get the same copy effects, menu, edit, copy effects, come to this and menu, edit and paste effects. So now we apply the same effect for this, and under the second page, I'm going to add the depth of the field. Go to the depth of the field and take your edit. Now my focus is towards this point and say finish and apply a bokeh effect, bokeh shape, and just increase the amount. So you guys can see I'm just like seeing only the part where I highlighted, where I targeted, only that part will get like clear image, and the other parts, whichever the objects near, those things will get blurred out, something like this. So you can change the amount of blur however you want, but I'm just going to keep it some amount, something like this. And other part you can just make a blurred out. So you'll be seeing only the highlighted part, something like this, and you will see the blurred out image for the nearer objects. So I'm just going to take one more shot. Something like this. And if you want to take a few more shots, you can just go ahead and you can do it. But I think some 3 renders are enough for this. So here we placed one more we placed one object here. We want to focus this. Okay, it's getting late. We can set. I just make some few more views and I'll just share it with you guys in the render part. So let's first only render all these things. So I'm just going to put the render for all the images, all the sets. Go to your photo set. If you are clicking on the current shot, so this is the current shot whichever I set right now. So if you just want to take only the current shot render, just go to the render photos. So you'll be seeing only the current shot which is set, or whichever it's already you have taken a store camera. If you want to render those things, go to the photo set. You'll be seeing all the images which you have stored in your camera. Now you can select whichever the images you want to make a render. So I just want to make render of all the 4 things, and I'm going to put the render in the desktop size. So click on it and I'll just create a new folder and some name I just give it and one save. So let's wait for a few seconds to render this. So this is the normal image without any effect, and this is with the effects. This is one view we set, and we had set some few more views. And when the image is rendering, don't touch your system. So it gonna, when you touch something, then it gonna stop responding. So don't touch your system when it is rendering. Guys, any doubts?
Only with the cracked version, or it happens to
No,
the
no,
original
no.
version too?
In any version, if it is a licensed version also, if it is rendering, if you try to do something, it might, like get
Get
crashed.
crashed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even you'll get the, warning here. Please do not minimize the Lumion window or click on the show desktop option. Or, don't go to your control alt and delete during rendering. This might
Okay.
crash your, the graphic card sometimes.
Okay.
Guys, I forgot to apply the glass for this, sliding folding door. Okay, I'll just do that. So basically 64 frames I rendered for all the 4 images. I'll just quickly add the material for this. So basically this is the glass for the sliding folding door. So under the custom, we have an option for glass, click on it. So basically this is a glass render, just 5 more minutes guys, not 5 more minutes, just 2 more minutes. So I always, like I'll not get satisfied if I'm not getting a proper, like output. So I'll just keep rendering the same thing till I get the, like proper output of the same image. So
Yeah,
I'll
I can
have,
see that.
yeah. So like we work, like we would have worked like so many things, so many like 2 hours, 3 hours in the SketchUp, exporting into Lumion some 1 hour. So basically some 4 hours, 5 hours work. We should not, like we should see some nice output for our work, right? So always I work like till I get the satisfaction for my renders. So guys, don't miss out tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's class, we're gonna see that like video render. So there are 3 types of video render we can do it. So one is walkthrough render, so 3D walkthrough, 3D fly through, and the final one is you can make a like a movie render for in your Lumion. So basically, we'll be seeing the motion of the object. So we can do some car moving on your render and humans moving on your render, and we can add a light effect, we can add a sound effect for your render. So many things we have, so many interesting things we have in the Lumion to see in tomorrow's class. So don't miss out tomorrow's class.
Sir, I have a doubt, not regarding this.
Okay,
So we have classes on 7:30 and 9:30, right?
exactly.
So I have asked the person so that I can switch to 7:30. So the
Yeah,
classes are same, right?
same
I
class,
mean,
same.
no, just like in Rivet. So are we forward in 9:30? Like, is the
Mhm.
same classes are same on level? I mean,
Same
the
only,
core.
same only. No, like
Okay,
no
okay,
changes. I'm just going to say take. I'm only going to take for the Lumion also, or like 7:30 and 9:30.
okay, okay,
We'll be doing the same things only.
okay, okay. So tomorrow you'll be teaching the video on the 7:30 also, like.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay, okay.
So guys, let's see the output of the same renders. So I'll just delete the first set. So you guys can see I'm just going to put it for the full screen. So this is the image we have set. This is without any effect. So this is a basic render. If we add a effect for this, so the output gonna be something like this. So the render quality from the 3ds Max, or what you guys will get, the output quality of your V-Ray, what you guys will get, you can just get the same quality in your Lumion also. Even I feel you can get a better output also from your Lumion. So this is the first render. So this is the second scene, and you guys can see the texture and the quality of the texture which we applied and everything details. So when you make a more details for your render, you will see more, the outcome, the output of your the render quality will be more if you add more details to it. So this is the last one with the field of the depth of the field which we added. So you guys will see the blur effect for your nearer object and the detailed clean effect for your farther object. So by adding different effects, you can get the different types of renders quality, something like this. So even I'll share this quality. So in the Zoom meeting, if your network is slow or something, you not see the complete detail of this renders. So I'll just share the images also in the recording folder. You guys can open it and see how the quality of the output in the Lumion. Okay, guys. Then anyone any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No doubt.
Okay. Okay, guys. Then okay. Then see you everyone in tomorrow's class. Don't miss out tomorrow's class. It's going to be really interesting and also important. So two more classes we're going to have. Tomorrow's three more classes actually. Tomorrow we're going to see the walkthrough and fly through. You'll try to finish it in tomorrow. If we can't finish it, then we can push it to 2 more days for for the 3D walkthrough, fly through, and this thing entire movie preparing this thing. And in the last class, we'll see how to cut the section, how to export it from the Lumion in the different effects. And probably in the last class and the last 6th day's class, we can see the panorama render. So actually for this panorama 360-degree render, we need to download one VR software, VR app in our phone. Then only we can, view the panorama render which we are doing in the Lumion. So I'll tell you the name. You guys can download it in your phone and keep. So after rendering, we can view that the image in the phone by using the tab. Okay, yes. Then see you everyone. Good night.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you
Thank you.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah. Bye.